Today, I'm going to talk about my entire progression on Ironman mining since the 120 nucleus run. Let's go! Now, at that point in time, I only had the Divan's chestplate. This is future RKO around here. I only had the Divan's chestplate, and the thing is, to make each piece of Divan armor, you need 45 gemstones of many different types. To make, yeah, you need 45 gemstones of 4 different types. And the problem is, I just didn't feel like grinding those out manually, and I know it would have been faster to have grinded them out manually, but I had an idea. What if I just did 120 nucleus runs? Each nucleus run will give me one of every single fine gemstone, so that would be fine. And also it would give me a chance to drop some really rare stuff like the Quick Claw and the Divan Zoloid.
Where did you go when I was down and I needed you most, yeah? Where did you go when I was alone just looking for hope, yeah? I worked on myself, learned a few lessons. Without you I spread my wings to the heavens. But where did you go when I was down and I needed you most, yeah? It was long days.
Oh my! So these gemstone mixtures are all complete and ready for utilization. If we look at my sack, I have 17, bringing my total up to 22. Now, if I do a slash recipe ruby, we need 2 flawless rubies to make one piece of one flawless ruby for each Divan armor piece. I can make 2. This is perfectly enough. Now, I need my Divan fragments. I'm going to item casting. I already have the chest plate, so I need to make a leggings of Divan. And then I also need to go ahead and go to item casting. And I'm gonna make a helmet of Divan. Wait, Gas Beast Fury, where is he at? Hit way more shots. Oh, okay, there we go. Whoa. Anyway, so what is talking about? 2 pieces of Divan armor are now in port. They will be ready tomorrow at around this time, yeah. And then I'll have 3 out of the 4 Divan armor pieces. I mean, I still need to get like the gemstone chambers on them and everything. I don't have any of that, but I have jaded 2 pieces of Divan, but they don't have enough gemstone mixtures for the third. I don't know. Can I even make? Now, one thing I wish I had known was that this having 0 worm membranes or gemstone chambers for my Divan armor would have taken an extra like 6 months. Now, you may ask, how do you get these worm membranes? So let me explain it. Worm membranes can be dropped from 3 different sea creatures, all of which are found within the crystal nucleus, crystal hollows. And the one that I decided to go for was the flaming lava worm, because they had the highest chance of dropping a worm membrane. And to get one of these, you had to go inside the precursor area of the crystal nucleus, and then you had to find a lava pool, which was pretty annoying to do, and then you had to fish there. And each single flaming worm had a 25% chance to drop it. And in the end, I would need about a total of 2,000 worm membranes for the full Divan armor, because you need 100 worm membranes for each piece. You need 100 worm membranes for every slot. So that results in a total of 2,000 because there's 20 slots. Now, this process of getting 2,000 worm membrane did take a really long time. As I mentioned before, it took me a total of 6 months to do. And it's basically the exact same footage of me fishing over and over again. There's literally nothing different. Sometimes I fished alone, sometimes I fished with others. And by the time I had finished the fishing, I had basically completed the entire rest of the armor. So we'll get back to the fishing when we're done with the armor. Now, as well as the Divan armor, there was another thing that you needed to do to be able to have a max mining setup, and that was upgrade your drill. Now, there were a few things that you wanted to have a maxed out drill back then. The highest level of drill that was obtainable was the Divan's drill, but the thing is, to craft this, you need a thing called the Divan's alloy, which is one of the rarest drops in the game, so there was no way I was about to do that. If you ignore the Divan's drill, then the highest drill you can get is the Titanium Drill DRX 655. Now, on top of just having the drill crafted as the item, there's also some upgrades you can apply. You can see it says there fuel tank and drill engine and upgrade module. Now, each one of those you can put something in, and for the fuel tank, there's really only one good one. It's a perfectly cut fuel tank. It increases your fuel capacity to 100,000. Then for the drill engine, the best one is the amber polished drill engine. It grants 600 mining speed and 100 mining fortune. And for the upgrade parts, there's actually quite a few of them, but this was one of the better ones, and this was the one I wanted to go for, which is the Sunnyside Goblin Omelette, which gives 50 mining fortune, but it increases the amount of fuel that your drill uses. And all of these have pretty complicated recipes. Like if you go into the amber polished drill engine, you can look at this, for example, and then you can look at this, and then you can look at, like, it's there's a lot of layers to it, you know? Same with the perfectly cut fuel tank. You go in here, gemstone cut fuel tank, you go in here, titanium fuel tank, you go in here, mithril fuel tank, you go in here, fuel canister, and that's only 2 coal. But yeah, you get the point. You need a lot of resources to be able to max out the mining setup. It's not just getting a good armor set. Alright, so look. We have 3/4 Divan armor, the boots of Divan and Forge. After mining enough ruby for the flawless ruby for the boots of Divan, I also got some extra ruby, which is 10 5s. Didn't really take that long. 64,000 isn't that much. And the reason I got that thing was because if we look at the amber polished drill engine and to the ruby polished drill engine, I need 10 of these for that, so that's why I got that. I have enough amber for this, I have enough sapphire for that, I have enough robot parts for that. I just need the drill engines and like the mithril and titanium for that's going to take a while, so I'm not going to go for that yet. Now, my main priority for now is probably going to be getting the rest of the resources for the 555. Other than the plasma, I'll figure that out when I get there. So now I think I'm going to go for the refined diamonds. I'm not expecting anyone to be able to understand what happened in that last clip, so here's a quick summary. I was able to get 3 out of the 4 Divan armor pieces out of the forge, and the boots were still in the forge at that time. And I was just about to start working on going for a maxed drill, which involved those drill parts I mentioned earlier, and the 655 drill. However, to get the 655 drill, you first need to go from the 355 to the 455 to the 555 and then to the 655. At that time I had a 455, so I had to first work out how to get a 555. Now the issue with grinding for the titanium drill 555 is that it required 20 of a drop called plasma, and plasma was pretty difficult for me to obtain at that time. You see, plasma can only be dropped rarely from mobs called ghosts, which live in the dwarven mines. This is where the ghosts live. This is under the bridge to the Great Ice Wall where the Ice Walkers are. They're normally just invisible chopped creepers, but I have a texture pack that makes them red, so they're a bit easier to see. And they have 1,000,000 health, which, for me at the time, I didn't do anywhere near that amount of damage. So I had to try to find some way to increase my damage to where I can kill these as fast as possible. And I did, in the end, find a way. This perk here in the heart of the mountain tree, Lonesome Miner, it'll give you bonus strength, crit damage, crit chance, defense, HP, while on mining islands. Now when it's maxed out, Lonesome Miner increases your strength, crit chance, crit damage, defense, and HP by 27% while on a mining island. And of course, the Dwarven Mines is a mining island. The weapon I used was this, the Fabled Giant Sword. And I also employed the Mithril Golem pet as it's one of its perks there. Subterranean Battler, it'll increase your most combat stats by 20% while on mining islands. So you activate that. The armor set I used was a set of Necron armor I borrowed from my co-op member and a Warden helmet. With this full setup, I'm able to kill the ghosts in one hit, dealing a bit over 1,000,000 damage, just barely. This is an amazing FPS right now. Why am I lagging? I don't know. Oh, let's kill the guys. Anyway, this setup allowed me to grind ghosts much more efficiently, because one tapping is just much better than killing in multiple hits. So I was able to actually be able to grind for the 555. That sentence made absolutely no grammatical sense, but whatever. It has come to my attention that I'm apparently now in some subscriber race with some random child I met on the street named Fiazishnu. We're racing to see who can hit 500 subscribers first, and I'm currently getting absolutely beaten down. If you would like to help me reassert my dominance as the greatest gamer of all time, then press the button. It's that easy. I know you want to do it. Do it. I could make this way more awkward right now. Do it. I know you haven't done it. Do it. Do it, or I'll. After I had achieved this setup that allowed me to one-tap the ghosts, I then proceeded to grind them for a really long time, and I also grinded a lot of mithril and all the other resources needed to make the titanium drill 555. Now as a little update, I just collected all the items in my forge. We go into the forge now. I have a few resources here in my inventory. If we go over to this page here, the titanium drill 555 is forging. This will take a grand total of I don't know how long. 29 seconds. Okay. It's gonna be a very, very, very difficult 29 seconds, guys. Like I I don't think I can do it, man. It's too long. 29 seconds. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Please, please. Okay. Hurry up. There we go. The titanium drill 555.
Where did you go?
Corleonite is done. Refined diamonds are not done. Titanium may be done. I don't know. I need 17 refined titanium. I think I have enough. We need. I will also be requiring these gemstone mixtures. So I feel like these three are the main items I should probably be working on now. Because those are the ones I know for a fact I don't have enough of. The mithril, I'm not sure. Refined titanium, I'm not sure. These three I know for a fact I don't have them. So yeah, that would probably be the next thing to do for it. I'm glad I have this now though. Now the only things I was missing to get the 655 were the ruby, the diamonds, the gemstone mixtures, and the titanium. The ruby was really easy. I just set up some little route and I mined that for a few hours. The gemstone mixtures, you just do some powder grinding to get sludge juice, because you powder grind in the jungle temple, in the jungle area I mean. If you don't know how that works, watch my last video, because I definitely explained it in such detail, yeah, And anyway, the titanium, you just go to one of these mithril things, and then after you mine for a bit, you'll spawn in some titanium. I don't have the perk active, that makes it much easier to do, and I'm way too lazy to activate that right now, but yeah. That's how you get the titanium. And the diamonds, you just go over to the mines of Divan. There's diamonds there, there, there. If we look up, there's diamonds up there. There's diamonds over there. Diamonds there. There's just a lot of diamonds. There's generally a lot of diamonds in this area. So that's how you get those. After I got all the resources, I was finally able to start foraging the titanium drill DRX 655. That name is way too complicated. Why do they have the DRX? Just call it the 655. But whatever. Titanium drill DRX 655. The 555, 30 corleonite, the flawless thingy, 5 refines, the gemstone mixtures. Boom. Okay, time to survive this really painful 20 seconds. Oh my god. 655 acquired, bigger mining stats, more numbers. Let's go. Now that I had obtained the titanium drill DRX 655, I decided to begin putting gemstones on it. You see, while I needed to do that whole fishing thing to get the gemstone slots on my armor to be able to put the gemstones on it, for the drill you don't actually need to get any of that. You can just unlock the gemstone slots with other gemstones and then put gemstones on it. And since it was very low effort, I decided to go quickly max out the gemstones on my drill. Now this included getting a perfect topaz, perfect amber, and a perfect jade, which really don't take that long, man. It's like, at that time with that setup, it probably took like an hour or two for each gemstone. It was really easy. Now at that point, it was going good. The whole grind was doing really well, and I was making a lot of really good progress. What could go wrong? A few days later, everything changed. The admins dropped a mining update, which kind of destroyed a lot of the things I've been working on. one of the things that the update did was it made the Amber drill engine, which is one of those drill upgrades that I had mentioned earlier, much more difficult to get. Now the update hadn't actually dropped at the time; they'd just like been putting it on the alpha or putting it on their forums. So I had some time, so I decided to quickly speedrun this item as fast as possible, so I wouldn't have to grind 5 perfects and half a stack of plasma. Now, other than that, the update did also cause a lot of major damage. If you watched my 120 Nucleus run video, you may know that I dropped a Quick Claw, and I may or may not have put it on my Bal Pet, which they completely nerfed in the update, so now it's really bad. The thing is, it's still my best mining pet, though, because of how good the Quick Claw is. I just wish I didn't put it on the pet. Amber Polished Drill Engine means a Ruby Drill Engine, the Ruby Polished Drill Engine, Sapphire Polished Drill Engine, a Flawless Amber, and 50 Robotron Reflectors. 400 mining speed, which I think gets up to 500. 100 mining fortune, and also in the update it'll give like some ability cooldown reduction or something. I don't know. Here we go. One thing that the update did that was actually pretty good is that they made the perfect fuel tank a lot easier to get. So fuel tanks will increase the fuel capacity on your drill. And without a good fuel tank, mining is just really annoying because then you have to refuel your drill every 10 seconds. And in the update, they made it a lot easier to get the best one. So that's something nice. We can now forage a gemstone fuel tank, 16 precursor apparatuses, 32 plasmas, and 25 gemstone mixtures to obtain the perfectly cut gemstone fuel tank, or whatever it's called. Time for a really long 30 seconds. Okay. I can breathe. Go back to Jutraline Great Forge. And before we put it back on, let's just admire the thing for a second. It grants 100,000 max fuel capacity and minus 10% pickaxe ability cooldown. But let's be honest, when we put this thing on, we all know that I'm soon going to be going for the other goblin omelet that like quadruples fuel consumption. So clearly, this 100k is really only 25k, but that's part of the reason I went for it. And look at that, a new digit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how good that looks. Perfect fuel tank amber drill engine. We're still in the pastoral goblin omelet. What do you need to make the upper goblin omelet? Now I was down to the final 2 upgrades for my drill. One of them was a goblin omelet. Now there are a total of 6 goblin omelets. Each of them does something different, and I wanted 2 specific ones of them. One of them was really easy to get, which is a sunny side goblin omelet. You see, this one, it takes a flawless topaz, some goblin eggs, and a regular goblin omelet. And what this one does is it gives you 50 mining speed, but it quadruples your fuel consumption. And the other one I wanted was the blue cheese goblin omelet, which takes a flawless sapphire, a bunch of blue goblin eggs, and a regular goblin omelet, and this one will increase 1 level to all your Heart of the Mountain perks, including your abilities, which is why this one is really good. And now the other upgrade I wanted to go for was called the Divan's Powder Coating, which is made out of 5 Divan fragments, which are obtained from blue nucleus runs, 32 refined mineral, which are obtained from mining ores during the mining fiestas, 16 enchanted gold blocks, which is, mine gold, it's pretty obvious, and 32 glossy gemstones, which is a new item that you get from mining gemstones during a mining fiesta. And the reason I wanted to get one of these is that when you apply it to a drill, it gives it plus 500 mining speed. Now you can also apply it to armor for 10 mining fortune, which I didn't really care about because that's not that much. But I did want to get one of these on my drill because 500 mining speed is 500 mining speed, man. It's a lot. So I decided to begin working on them. Now you can find goblin eggs in 2 ways. 1, you can find them by powder mining and the chests that spawn. 2, you can find them in structure chests. Now in order to obtain the sunny side goblin omelet, I needed yellow goblin eggs, which weren't that difficult to get. I just got these from powder mining. However, the other goblin omelet that I wanted, which was the blue cheese goblin omelet, requires blue goblin eggs. Now these ones are really rare to get from powder mining. Out of my 99, the recipe used to be 99. Out of the 99 that I grinded, I think I only grinded, I would say, 20 of them through powder mining. The rest I got through another means, and that is the Ironman Sweats Discord. You see, in this Discord server, whenever somebody found a blue goblin egg in one of these structure chests, they would write it down the coordinates and put it into the Discord server so that people could get warped into the lobby and find the egg. And this allowed me to get the 99 blue eggs I needed pretty quickly with minimal effort on my part because I didn't really need to do any work. I just waited for them to find it for me. After a while, I was able to get both of the goblin eggs into the forge and out, and I was able to use them on my drill. Now, one thing I do want to explain though is that I put the blue cheese goblin omelet on my second drill. This was technically the first drill we got in this profile, the ruby drill, and I put it on this drill so that way I'm able to have this drills with the Sunnyside goblin omelet and this drill with this omelet. Because the thing is, you can use the effects of the blue cheese goblin omelet if you just swap drills fast enough. If you just do this fast enough, you can actually use the ability of both at the same time, which is why I put them on two separate drills. And then Mayor Cole was elected for the first time after the update, and he actually had the Mining Fiesta perk, meaning I was finally able to grind some glossy mineral. Glossy mineral, by the way, is just that stuff that you get from mining gemstones during the Mining Fiesta. It's not that hard, but the chances of getting them were initially very low, but luckily, after the first few fiestas, I was able to get away with just enough to be able to forge the powder coating. Alright, we're back. We have this Divan's powder coating in my forge. Wait, how does it work? So we can combine them. And then the drill will have plus 500 mining speed, so now it'll go from 2,425 to 2,925, which is pretty big. And I just want to make sure it doesn't like delete any of the gemstones, so they're perfect. Okay, it'll be fine. Yeah, 500 mining speed acquired. Let's go. Now, at the beginning, I said that we would come back to the worm fishing for the gemstone chambers later, so how is that going exactly? That may have very well been the last worm I needed. And it was. Alright, so it went well enough to where by this point I had all 2,000 that I needed, so I put them into the forge, and when I was done I was able to apply all 20 gemstones to my armor. Alright, so now I had the maxed out Divan armor. What's next? Well, you see, a really long time before that, during the Better Mayors update, they added a mining armor set that would be basically the best armor set to mine money. I can't speak English. Anyway, it was called the Glossy Mineral Armor Set. Now, this armor set is good for one main reason. It's a direct upgrade to the mineral armor. The mineral armor gives you mining spread, which back then didn't work the same way as it works now. It just like lets you break extra blocks. Which now that I say that out loud, it works the exact same way as it works now, but whatever. This just gives you more mining spread. It's that simple. It just breaks more blocks. It's that basic, man. It's not that deep. After a lot, and I mean a lot, of mining fiestas with my co-op member, we finally were able to get the mineral armor to glossy. Now you're basically fully caught up on my entire mining progression. I made an attempt to go for the goblin pet after the Val nerfs, but it just does not go well, man. I'm not lucky with it for some reason. I've gotten all the other ones, but this one I just can't get two of the fossil, the stupid ugly fossil. Alright, well that was that. I know it was a long one. If you stayed this far, I know you have to press the red button. Legally, you're required to do it. It's in the contract, man. And I know you signed the contract, big boy. Moving on to my absolutely trash sense of humor. I hope you enjoyed the video. And subscribe and like, or I'll find you in-game. I'll come say hi to you in the video game, and I don't know, and see you in the next one. Actually, I don't know how much money I have on eBay. Wait. Okay.
Where did you go when I was down and I needed you most, yeah? Where did you go when I was alone, just looking for hope, yeah? I worked on myself, learned a few lessons. Without you, I spread my wings.